leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, he has faulted the establishment of Niger Delta and South-South in Nigeria, and he said there is nothing like South-South or Niger Delta. In fact, it is said that this is not an indigenous name. Minorities, the smaller ethnic group that make up Biafra nation. In a statement he sent to Vanguard through Ima Powerful, the group's publicity secretary, Nnamdi Kanu argued that Abia, Cross River, Akwa Ibom are the same people. Abia, Cross River, Akwa Ibom are the same people. He said there is nothing like Niger Delta or South-South. Nothing that only a fool will call him or herself a Niger Deltan or a South-South person. And this has brought about a lot of issues with the people that are domiciled in the Niger Delta region, the South-South, the oil-producing regions. Many of them have said they don't want to be part of Biafra, they don't want to be part of the Igbos. They are probably worried that the Igbos have much more than them. And they also claim that it is because of the resources on their own land. That is the reason why the Igbos, the dominant group, are interested in them. It is said that there are deposits of crude oil in 2 states when you talk about the Igbo-speaking part. But the deposit there cannot measure to what you have in what we know today as the oil-producing states in Nigeria. That being said, he said there is nothing like Niger Delta or South-South, nothing, and that is only a fool that will call himself any of this name. And the Niger Deltans or South-South people have seen this as an insult to them, while some have seen deeper thoughts, brought their thoughts outside of where it has been locked in. They've started thinking outside of the box, and they've come to realize that there is nothing like South-South. Even when you are trying to carve an identity, carve an image, carve something for yourself, you need to go back history lane and look at yourself. What are we? Who were we? Do we have cultures that are kind of similar to ourselves? Maybe over time things changed a little bit. Nnamdi Kanu has once said that anywhere you go and women tie 2 wrappers, that particular region are Biafrans. Well, it has changed a little bit. It has changed a little bit. Back in those days, our mothers are known to tie 2 wrappers, but now it's no longer the same anymore. It's no longer the same. Even back in those days, Yorubas, they tie 2 wrappers. It's like an African thing in Nigeria. But that is what he has said. Like I said things changed over time. I have read history of the people in Onitsha, how they moved from Edo State, Benin Kingdom, and a lot of, movement here and there. But that does not still rub off the true identity of who these people are. He went on to say, I want to educate the enemies of Biafra, traitors within and agents of the Janjaweed Caliphate, that there is nothing like Niger Delta or South-South. I maintain that only a fool and a roundly unintelligent one at that can ever call him or herself a Niger Deltan or South-South person. The British and their illiterate Fulani house niggers thought that they could divide us, not knowing that what binds all the nations of Biafra is stronger than the hate they planted amongst us. The building blocks of a nation is commonality of culture as universally defined and accepted, and they do not come lesser than the revered Ekpe and Okonko fraternities, which bind Bende province in Abia, Efik, Ibibio together as one family. So exactly what I said it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you will see people with similar, either they learn the culture from others and they take it to themselves. For example, you see some part, they go to some other region or ethnic group, they go in there to borrow a masquerade and they bring it back to their part and they begin to practice it. And as such, if you have embraced that, you might take more of their culture. And before you know it, you will keep resonating, repeating the same thing that is in that part that you took. And over time, they will see you as the same people with the same ancestry. He went on, he said, go through the text on the first picture. You will see the Abiriba ranks alongside other clans in Biafra, all the way to Bakassi Peninsula as having the same Ekpe culture. Abiriba is the umbilical cord that ties Igbos to their brethren in Ejiagam, Efik, Ibibio, Anang, Bakassi, and all the way to parts of Ambazonia, that is in the present-day Cameroon. Abiriba, people of Bende in Abia State, is by far the richest clan in Africa per capita and are the only Igbo group that use Hong or Ong, similar to that in Efyong or Obong in their lexicon. Now that tells you the similarity, the closeness of one ethnic group, one kindred, one family, one town, one village to each other. You know, over time, things change. Languages and evolve. Culture evolve. People embrace this, take away this, and all of that. When you talk about lexicon, talk about how words, languages are spoken. That is what he is pointing out. Without prejudice, to my fellow Biafrans in Benin that I love dearly, I want to ask those that carved out South Niger Delta, what are the tangible cultural ties or affinity between the people of Cross River and Benin that led to put them together in a geopolitical unit? Cross River and Benin. Now, some Beninese will say, well, we are Yorubas. Some say we are Igbos. Some say we are Benin, we are Edo people. There is a lot of mix-up here and there. Some are mixed up as a result of the cultural differences. Some are mixed up as a result of things that have changed over time, things that have been abrogated, left, dropped, new cultural practices that have been embraced. Some have died off, some have been woken up, and many other things. He went on to say, because Abia State has Ekpe and Okonko cults, which are bonded to cultures in Cross River and Akwa Ibom State, my question therefore is, on what basis did Fulani Janjaweed determine who to include in their South region when clearly the closest relatives to Cross River and Akwa Ibom is Abia State? That is the question that he has posited, and I think there are intellectuals here. I once did a series, and someone from Edo State, I think the person is a brother to the present governor of Edo State, Godwin Obaseki, a brother to him. He said he's a professor or a doctor in history or something, and he went on to differentiate between the Biafrans that we know of today and some other tribes, and of course Edo State, and he cut off Edo State from Biafra and from Igbos and all of that. You know, that is what it is. People will keep expressing their opinion, proofs will be brought out, and a lot. That is what they call intellectual that's just it, intellectual argument. Everyone brings out his own opinion and present it intellectually. Academic arguments, discussions. This is the way forward. There is no crime if Nnamdi Kanu has said his own part and somebody else comes to speak about his own part too. With this, the conclusion will be brought out finally, as there is no one that is the entirety of wisdom or knowledge. We learn, but the truth and the fact will remain that states broke us apart.